friends. It's been a while. I blame it mainly on the weather. Also, I do my smoking at my cousin's a lot, and I find it kind of weird to record yourself when other people are around. I don't know. Maybe I'm just self-conscious. So, I had a clog more tonight than yesterday, and I finally poked through, and the tobacco had kind of formed like almost a ball bearing. It had like almost a solid plaster of a ball bearing like thing of tobacco mulch. I'd never seen that before. Maybe there's a reason, I don't know. By the way, I'm still doing my bent apple Peterson. Ooh, starting to rain. I'm protected though. I'm also still smoking early morning pipe by Dunhill. I haven't bought anything else, largely because I'm still working out the kinks of storing. The last time I tried to store long term, um, I had stopped smoking for a little while, several months anyway, and I went back in our basement. I had it kind of underneath this work shelf, and picked up this jar and rattled it around, and you could just hear it as dry as can be, just crackling. Might as well have been loose sand. So, still trying to figure that out. I'm actually starting to run a little low on my early morning pipe, and I don't really know if I should be happy or sad about that. To a certain extent, it's almost like you achieve something, but it's like losing a friend. I don't know. So I was thinking earlier, this whole this whole thing where Google has bought YouTube and whatnot. Do you realize that if Apple would have bought YouTube, it would have been called iTube? Think about it. Anyway, I digress. So, I don't know if I've said this before. I may have. I may be getting senile and repeating myself. But it seems to me that Oriental kind of represents black pepper. It seems to kind of burn quick, also. At least that's my experience. Not to sound like I've been smoking for years. It might be like 2 now, I don't know. And I kind of feel like I've been smoking more than usual. But with the weather as cold as it's been, it's kind of like you want to do it while you can. Hopefully, those of you who cannot smoke inside understand. I'd also never drank just water while I smoked, but it almost seems to kind of take the essence of what you're smoking and it turns it into liquid form or something. I don't know. It's really interesting. A weird one. Several weeks ago, I had I drank a Yoo-hoo chocolate drink while I was smoking, and it actually was pretty good. That ring didn't last long. And I don't remember where I heard it, but somehow I remember somewhere hearing that smoking tobacco produced serotonin. If it does, it's good for your studies. It's more on the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. I'm not going to go too deep into a lecture, but that's why we get that relaxed state. I guess when you look at it that way, it almost has to, almost has to, unless it's just a similar chemical that's released. Not that I claim to be an expert on the nervous system. Not exactly, anyway. By the way, I'm in my old smoking jacket. If anyone remembers the reference back in the day, that reference is pretty old, so maybe not. Either way, I'm not judging you. I also still have my pipe tool. Every time I misplace it, now I'm like, whatever. It'll show up. And it always does. Pretty sure it's an entity of its own. In the best way possible, that is. We've been together a long time. Pretty sure I bought that from a tobacco shop called John's Pipe Shop downtown. Which it's not a bad place. It's been there for a long time. The only problem is it's rather small, and parking is terrible. Well, you got to go downtown, so I'm not a big fan of the what do you call them? The little toll parking spots, So then you got to keep change on you. And there's a place closer, but and I guess really it's a bigger store itself, but I'm not a huge fan of the variety. Not that they have bad variety, but I can't get my Sillums there. John's carries them. The only the only downside I have about this pipe, well, almost the only downside, is it's got that gurgle thing going on, which it doesn't make it a terrible pipe. Just a little con for it. The other thing is if the weather is disagreeing, I'm talking about breeze. Excuse me. Smoke kind of comes up on you like a nose warmer, which I guess for a lot of people is okay, but my nose gets sensitive and I get to spasm out, kind of, you know. I also didn't know till a couple months ago watching YouTube. Not everyone likes that total relaxation, almost a high sort of a thing from a good rich tobacco, which makes me understand why there's so much mild stuff out there. Not that I'm saying anything against mild, because every now and then it's nice to have that blend that you can just puff on for a long time without getting that almost that full feeling. You always sit back and say, okay, I've had enough, and if you go any farther you're going to get sick, or at least that's how it is with me. Maybe I'm totally crazy, I don't know. I also think it's interesting. I smoked with my best friend's little brother one time, and I don't even know how he puffed right. I don't even know how he did it. He did like a multiplication of like tiny little puffs, kind of I don't know how he did it exactly. And I assume common people take just you know I have always liked to completely fill my mouth and just kind of let the entire tongue go over so I can absorb more. I realize that's not a good thing, but I love doing it. And I do what I want. And I also kind of miss, um, haven't had a still night in a while, so I haven't been able to practice my smoke rings. I'm really out of practice. Not saying I was ever the world champion by any means, but I was a lot better than what I am now. I don't know. And by the way, yes, it's dark out. However, it's 1 a.m., so I think that's okay that I'm smoking early morning pipe. Maybe it's too late to smoke, I don't know. Maybe I'll go in and study some, huh? Now I've said that, I wish I was smoking a calabash. I dated a girl one time that her dad used to work in a pipe shop. Which, by the way, I didn't know this till I talked to him, but he would soak his stems in vodka to kill all the junk in there, and then you could just let it dry. He had a calabash and it smelled very English, and I can't imagine smoking anything else out of a calabash. I don't have one yet, but it's on my bucket list. And actually, some of you may remember of my parent alley. I can't find it. It's been misplaced in my travels. It I'm not real upset about it, cause like the shaft that it kind of like. Okay, let me see how to explain this. The shaft that goes into the bowl was connected to the stem itself, and the stem and the shaft kind of got unconnected in a way. Like I don't know whatever adhesive they had didn't last. It's still smokable. Don't get me wrong. It's just kind of a bummer. I like my pipes to perform. I'm picky like that. Anyway, I've kept you guys long enough. Take care. Be safe.